Spike a child with another. We got. Bro, I'm finna mute you. We bite with another podcast, another episode of Let's Talk About It. And we got this nigga here. We got Icy Cybo in the building sitting over here talking about some real sus behavior. And we got my man's Glock up in here. Glock, you ain't got no YouTube or nothing, do you?
Nah, I don't got none of that right now.
Glock ain't got no socials, man, but bro up in here. No one's going to meet you to play basketball, first of all.
I'm not unmuting him, bro. Dude, there's no way. Oh, shit, he's funny. You go to Simeon Garage yet?
First of all, hold on, because let me make sure that this stuff is going. Okay. You are not. Stop talking to me.
I'm at a test drive this car.
You sound so sus. Dude, why are you so pressed on?
Dude, he won't. Never mind, I ain't gonna say it.
This man sus.
I had to stop myself from saying something.
Well, yeah, man. Thank you, because you just weird right now. Talking about a whole bunch of just craziness.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why are you thinking about that, dude? Like, what?
I don't know. He just got done playing basketball. He probably crossed up all the little niggas on the court and was like, yeah, I'm that nigga. And then tomorrow he gonna get his ankles broke. Somebody gonna come through with some real... Somebody gonna come through with some real deal Holyfields for that ass. He gonna be like, oh, shit. Yeah, I know. I know. What the hell just happened to me?
This car is smooth, though.
Man, shout out my boy Carl. Shout out my boy Carl. He taught me how to dribble. I still suck at basketball though, but I'll cross your ass up. I'll cross the shit out your ass, boy. Fuck is you talking about? I'm not finna go and meet you to play no goddamn basketball.
Dude talking about he gonna fly to come to Alabama and play you basketball.
He didn't come to Alabama to just come and hoop with me. Head ass.
Boy, probably got no money for no plane ticket.
Man's outside in Crocs and shambles. No, though, but man, on a serious note, I wanted to talk about this. I want to talk about something I've been seeing on the, like... Now I'm finna mute this nigga. Nah, now you muted. Muting your ass. Nah, on a serious note though, I wanted to talk about something that I've been seeing like in the media and shit. So if y'all watched my roller champion stream, I had got like midway into it and I wanted to start talking about like the Adam 22 and Joe Budden podcast. I had seen it, I was going through. And Adam 22 is basically debating with Joe Budden on the Joe Budden podcast about pretty much his misuse of the platform in which he has for the black community. And the reason that they felt this way is because they felt like basically he's profiting off of Black Death. Which I kind of, when you look at it, I do agree to a certain extent, because if you look at some of his more recent merch, we'll just talk about like on surface level. If you believe in any type of conspiracy, we'll just get that out the way. You could check out the merch shop, and they got these, you know, they got these graphic t-shirts where it's pretty much promoting death. It's like Gomorrah type shit. You feel me? It's like skulls and dead bodies and like women looking like they doing like type ritual type shit. Or like old movies where we didn't probably really know what that type shit was back in the day, but that's kind of what that was, like rituals, sacrificial type shit. That's what that type stuff was. So they got these outfits where you seeing that type of stuff, and then when you listen to the podcast and you watch the episodes, you'll start hearing a lot of controversial shit being discussed rather than, you know, productive things going on, like what's your next plans for this situation and blah blah blah. I suck at stealth, by the way. So Joe Budden and them stance was, you know, you doing this and you don't care, like, and it's a disconnection between, we don't know if you actually care about the situation or if you know, are just ignorant to the situation. And his stance was that and they tried to use comparisons to DJ Academics and stuff like that, and his stance was that he's not responsible for these people, you know, what they decide to do on their off time, which I agree. Like, they were using examples like DJ Vlad and DJ Academics, on where DJ Vlad, you know, he gets all this information about these people and the crimes that they do, and they hop on the interviews, and people can play that type of information back in court. They can see all of these crimes that they doing, or it coincides with what the stories are in the news, or, you know, whatever the investigation may be, and they just spilling the shit right there on the podcast. So they feel like that's contributing, you know, to black incarceration. And then here you go with DJ Academics making fun of the Warren Chirac situation. So it's just a whole bunch of let me unmute you. Are you done being sus? I'm gonna unmute you for right now, but if you done with the sus shit, man,
just let me know, bro, cause I still got to mute it, bro.
I'm doing the scope out real quick. And then we can start it up. But now though, so it's just like the mass incarceration situation with DJ Vlad and DJ Academics. Well, you go and do that. DJ Academics and bike muted. I don't know what you talking about right now. I gotta take a shower. Like, okay, man.
We didn't want to hear that.
I take an ice cold shower. Okay. Get your ass out of here, Twisty. Damn. But nah, though, it was just my whole situation where I feel like this is crazy, on where when you do think about it, that's the common denominator between a lot of the media that's out, is they like to expose the negativity. And I don't want to say glorify, you know, the crimes and blah blah blah, because I don't necessarily feel like it's always glorifying it, but I do feel like they shed a lot of light on these situations that otherwise should be left in the streets, or, you know, discussed under different settings or scenarios. Like the one guy that reports on the stuff, I don't trap Laura Ross and shit like that. Those type of people that actually make those fucking videos describing the whole beefs and stuff. I feel like it's a level of secrecy or privacy that shit go down when it comes to certain things. Like, and if you just genuinely doing that for the public so you could get criminals off the street, then I can't, you know, I can't say nothing about somebody doing that for the betterment of them and their, you know, their community or whatever the case may be. But for motherfuckers that's just sitting out there trying to get a profit off of it, that's where it becomes an issue. And that's what the topic was, you know, why are you just doing this for monetary gain? And one of the other examples they was using was, they put out a lot of footage about Kevin Samuels with his interview. He had an interview with No Jumper before he died, so they reposted that interview. I wasn't even paying attention. They reposted that interview, and they reposted the interview once he died. And they were saying, like, you know, it's fucked up because if he wouldn't have died, you wouldn't have reposted that situation. And he agreed, you know, under a certain extent. He was just like, you know, I'm not why would I not go for, the peak moment, basically? Why would I not go for when they're most interested? That's the buck for you. But then they're like, well. So my whole stance on it at the end of the day is just like, I feel as if it does become a situation where you just see these folks gaining profit off of it, but not really caring about the situations. And one of the things that I was like kind of correlating it to was how he kind of like runs the office now, where it's, he got all of those people, AD and them, Gina Views, Almighty Suspect, T Rail. He got all of these. Dang, what happened? Yeah, what up, Blaze? Yeah, man. So he got T Rail, Gina Views, AD, Sharp, Duno, a whole bunch of people. Lil House Phone. He just had a situation happen with his mom. But yeah, it's just like, it's a lot of good, and that's another thing. They all black talents, people of color, Duno, Hispanic. So, oh yeah, and then the new guy they got, Poetic Flacco. It's just a lot of, black talent that he's exposing. Also on top of, putting out the newer guys that come out there and giving them a platform to speak. So overall, he is giving the black community a platform, but it becomes a thing for me where all of these situations go down. Like, I was looking at something where pretty much a race war is damn near kind of brewing. How am I caught? I'm finna get snuck off the island. That's the one thing I hate about this shit. I fucking hate the KO. I hate scoping. But yeah, I just feel like it is a situation where he's kind of just profiting off of these situations that's happening, but he's not really looking at himself as part of the culture. So I went bike, and if y'all watched the roller champion stream, y'all went bike with me, and we delve into the Joe Budden podcast. And what I gathered from that whole thing was that, yeah, he is using this for monetary gain, just by the way he was responding and reacting to everything. So, and to be honest with you, I got a little bit of a issue with both sides, because the way that the one guy was explaining, I think that's Ish, I didn't really like the way Ish was going at it, for real, because it just seemed like he was upsetting himself with hypothetical scenarios. You're the type of person that'll do this and then profit off of it. And it's just like, okay, but I didn't do that. And I understand, but it's like, it is situations that Adam 22 has done. Like when we were in the roller champion stream, we was talking about Slim 400, and how when he had a situation happen to him, Adam had posted his location in the hospital because he had went to visit or whatever the case may be, and he had posted that location, and he had to hop on the podcast and let him know, like, man, that's a dangerous situation. You can't do stuff like that. So he had to get checked on that. But it's like, also, like I was talking about earlier with the race war type situation going down. So I'm not saying that a race war, blah blah blah, or nothing like that. I'm just saying this is something that I looked up. But what I can say is that from what I've seen with Whack 100 hopping up there saying whatever he got to say, and then the Hispanic community coming back to kind of give out their response on what was being said, because one of the guys had made and I don't really want to speak on gangs because I don't know about gang politics. So as far as the specific relations and organizations, don't ask me. Y'all go and look at that information on y'all own. But what I can say is the fact that it was a whole Hispanic community that came and stepped to talk about that situation and to get a response. And Adam 22 was nowhere to be found. Instead, he let, you know, his people of color in that company go and deal with that situation. So AD, a real respected member in the LA scene, and Duno, a well respected Hispanic person, and you know, in his boroughs and whatnot. So you got these folks kind of answering to your bullshit, and that ain't the only situation. You know, it's multiple situations where it seems like it's a lot of tight politics that come with the things that these folks are feeling comfortable and not comfortable enough with being said on this podcast. And it always has to be kind of like a reminder to everybody that, hey, you know, we're in LA, so you know, you can't say this and this and that. Like with Poetic Flacco saying all of this reckless, wild shit about certain rappers that really do got reps in the streets. And Adam 22, rather than understanding that, hey, this shit is dangerous, let's kind of make this man tone down, he's just kind of letting him rock out, because guess what? The fans love it. This is generating views. So it does become a point where you're just like, man, is this nigga really just on some, you feel me? And that's where we get into the title of the podcast, misusing your platform, because it's starting to become an issue for me where we seeing this happen a lot more often in the communities and in social media, where you got people just trying to do controversial shit to kind of get monetary gain. I remember back in the day, I had followed this one rapper. He was pretty dope to me. His name was Grizzly. He had like some type of clown face and shit. He was a good rapper, but I felt like he was a little bit too, I don't want to say cocky, because I don't never want to shit on nobody's, you know, craft or whatever, but I just felt like he looked at himself as like he was above folks. And one of the biggest things that he liked to do is, you know, just expose controversy. He want to say the next wild shit, and it became a point where I had to unfollow the guy because he started trying to defend 6ix9ine. Now, I'm not no gangbanger, no shit like that, so I'm not sitting over here like snitches get stitches. But I'm about honor at the end of the day. And one thing that I never respected about 6ix9ine is how he used controversy. I'm this fucking clown that's riding around with gangbangers. And I used to tell folks all the time, like, you see this nigga dressed like a clown with the bright red shoes, but you expect not to see a show? Nigga, you going to the circus. That's a clown. He has rainbow hair. What about him with 6ix9ine multiple tattoos of the same exact thing on your body? If that don't sound like a parody to me, my nigga, what are we talking about here? You didn't expect. So at a certain point, I do hold people to their own standards. Like, you know, you expected this. You should have been prepared for this. You fucking bring a clown around, but you don't think for this nigga to cause a show? My nigga, y'all was supposed to put that man on the leash, and that's not me trying to diss, you know, his affiliations and what he had. But what I'm saying is, I wouldn't have never trusted that nigga like that to be doing no dirt and shit. Nigga, you an entertainer, and on top of that, you a clown. Like, and that's no offense, but look at how you dress. You know, that's just spitting facts. So at the end of the day, you kind of got to take stuff for what it is. You got to take shit for surface level. So, like I say, my biggest issue is just the fact that I didn't understand how he couldn't find the humanity in the situation of saying, hey, these are people who, you know, have lost family members and this and this and that, and you just putting out this information as if it's kosher or something like that. Now, the Kevin Samuels, I personally was on Adam 22's side, and I kind of do want to like go into the stream, but my phone dead right now, so I can't do that for y'all. That's why we ain't got no thumbnail today. I'm sorry. But yeah, though, it's like I kind of took Adam 22's side on the part of Kevin Samuels, whereas they put out but they put out, you know, old interviews and whatnot for him, because that was a message that he was spreading. and it was in the same vein of Elvis. I would have personally said Biggie, because even at the end of the movie, you seen how it was a sad situation, and his mom, you know,
Yeah.
she was in the car and somebody started blasting Biggie, and she was, you know, that's my son on the radio. These people was honoring him. Motherfuckers was playing Biggie that whole day type shit. So
Yeah.
at a certain point, you are honoring a person by putting out their documents if that's what they wanted to be remembered for. So I personally didn't have an issue with, you know, him saying, hey, this is a monetary gain situation. You know, you put it out at that moment when people are looking for him. It's kind of like last words type situation. Now, it's ways you can do that. You know, some people make like uh compilations and collages and shit like that. So that's definitely one way you could go about it, and you know, in love and memory of type shit. So it's definitely not to say that there are better ways that you can go about those type of situations, but just putting out clips from the interview and them trying to find like some clickbait to make it stick, that's nothing different from what anybody else does. Just like how, even though this is a real touchy subject for a lot of people that do have family members that kind of, you know, have been lost to the streets or lost to violence or whatever the case may be, this would be a touchy subject for a lot of them. So you don't want to offend a lot of people, but even at the same time, with them having this conversation, they still was able to get some publicity by putting that information out. Hey, Joe Budden goes off on Adam 22. So now all of a sudden, while it's buzzing, they just put the interview out the day after. Okay, here y'all go. You feel me? It's a hot topic. Let's put it out. So how is that any different from what he do? How is that any different from that same exact subject of Kevin Samuels? So no, I don't really agree with that. But what I do agree with is them bringing up the fact that he likes to talk about a lot of controversial shit in these interviews. Now, certain situations I could understand. Like, I think it was Ruger that got that GDs in the Dough song. I could understand him kind of wanting to get more interested in, okay, so what was your inspiration behind that? What's it like with that situation? You know, clearly, if you done made a song about being blackballed, you want to ask a motherfucker, hey, so how are you being blackballed? Understandable. But situations like Almighty Suspect hopping on a interview just to specifically talk about smacking another rapper, like shit like that don't really make sense to me, because at the end of the day, you just kind of getting a buzz off of that type of controversy. Like, I didn't know nothing about that guy, Almighty Suspect, until, you know, he started talking about slapping this dude or whatever the case may be. So it's kind of like, at some point, where do you really find morals in this shit? Is it really just for monetary gain, or are you really trying to give light to people? And if you trying to serve both evils, you know, at some point it's gonna come to a head. Just like how a lot of these gang politics are being involved with what's going on. You got all of these, you know, people that had a certain affiliations coming on here and talking on other sides, and I didn't like how he sat there and pretty much tried to say some shit as if he was just deeply connected and well connected. He was saying, oh, well, I'm friends with what did he say? He said he friends with the blood, with the GDs and the BDs or something like that. And it was just the way he said it just threw me off, because that man literally said, I'm friends with both sides. And he talking about people, and he's saying op is a common term for me. And it's just like, as a not even as a black person, just as a motherfucker, just as a person of struggle, as a motherfucker that came from a certain specific background or area, these are terms that you hear, and these are terms that you know, use to express stuff. But it's not like this is shit that we say to as a fashion trend, and that's basically how it came off. He was talking to Joe Budden and them as if, oh, we say this type of stuff all the time amongst our conversation. It's a common term for me to say this type of stuff. I'm friends with the GDs and the BDs. Oh yeah, a lot of my friends have ops. It's like, first of all, you a podcaster giving these folks a platform to kind of do what they want to do. So yeah, of course I'll fuck with you, Adam. You know, you putting me on, I'ma fuck with you. I'm not finna associate that with us being, you know, friends now automatically. And some people you can like build a relationship off of. So that's not to say that, but it's also to say that for you to just blatantly think that, okay, I'm good in the hood all because these people like me, it's kind of obscene to me, if I'm being 100% honest with you. Just off the strength that Corporate had an interview and he said it the best. He said, ain't nobody good in Chicago. You know, you gon' run into who you run into. But if them motherfuckers is slipping that day, guess what? And you happen to be with them, that's what it is. And that's really what it is in a lot of situations. You could be lining yourself up and don't even know because you think that you friends with both sides. And I'm not, you know, I'm not saying that to call anybody like shiesty or, oh, these motherfuckers gonna be lining you up. But I'm saying if it's politics with a certain situation and you just kind of cower away every time something goes down. Like Milk 74 had went to the No Jumper studio before. And literally right after that situation, AD had to step outside. Adam wasn't coming outside. And then AD even like brought it up in one of the podcasts saying, yeah, I was telling him, like, you know, I take his homie and you could take him, but we you know, we could get down with them. But Adam didn't want to do it. And it's like, you definitely have seen a couple of clips of him fighting people before. You've seen him try to defend himself against, you know, somebody that put him at gunpoint. So as far as like a situation where he could have like fought somebody off camera and stuff, and then on top of that, he was saying how if it was a fist fight situation to go down, he would want to be able to pretty much document on it or speak on it because he want a better understanding for the situation. So how do you see that as a way, you know, to get some type of monetary gain, but you don't see how it would make sense for you to do that? You couldn't bang with Buddy in a, you know, in the backyard and then talk about it on the podcast the next day, because that's the same thing that you had AD do, because he had fought China Mac and it was the same situation. Him and China Mac fought in the back. So what was different? And then guess what? Adam put an interview on it. So it's kind of like you willing to put a lot of these people of color in these situations that you wouldn't yourself feel comfortable in. It's crazy how when shit hit the fan, you ain't around, you feel me? But any other time, it's just like, oh, well, yeah, I'm here, I'm open, I'm willing to talk about a situation. Willing to talk about the conversation. Nah. Are you though? Because then even with the, you know, the Hispanics pulling up, he was just so invested in his poker tournament that was $1 million. Which, that's cool, that's really dope. But I just feel like at a certain point, it's becoming kind of, I don't know, the lines are being kind of told in between too deep.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's kind of what my stance is on the end of misusing a platform. But it's a lot of that's going on, like in the social media realm in general. Like the lady that fucking got fired, the therapist that got fired for you know, saying that people need to get their shit together and go to therapy, because they really do, which is something that I definitely agree with myself. But I was telling my girl, like, I was upset with her because I don't
Yeah.
understand how you could feel like a victim in that situation. And the reason why I say that, I got some tequila. The reason why I was upset with her is because for you to have so much potential and not expect that, it just upset me. I don't understand how you being in such a successful position, you don't understand that there's a lot of motherfuckers out here that's willing to be crabs in the barrel to try to take you down or try to wait on your downfall, try to prey on your demise. And yeah, they can look like you. And I had seen she had showed me one of her last posts that she put up, and she was basically saying that she was taking a break, but she was coming back for bigger and better. And that's what I was kind of getting to when I was going on my rant, was about, like, yeah, of course that was gonna happen. It's understandable for you to be hurt about it, but for you to make it seem like you the victim in the situation, that's why I don't agree, because you put yourself in this position. You used your platform to bring this awareness in a contradictory way. So it should be no surprises. You should already be, you feel me? You should be setting up. That's kind of how I am with this game and shit. Like, I don't do as much as I want to do because I want to be set up for it. Like, I want to be able to hit y'all with the whoop the bams. So in the meantime, y'all gonna get these streams, y'all gonna get these conversations. And then when I'm ready to hit y'all with the bams, y'all gonna get the bams. When I get bigger and better, then that's what I'm gonna be, but I'm already preparing for that next step. It's like, yeah, I was saying, like, you sitting over there crying, you was just twerking the other day. Go bike to twerking, G. Like, go ahead, keep dancing and keep cursing and keep making these people understand where you coming from, because you actually got that voice and you got that potential. For you to sit there and let these folks take you out your position, fuck that. I was so hurt about that. But then it's kind of like her, for example. Like, I don't feel like she was misusing her platform, but I do feel like it was kind of like a irresponsible thing for her to be using the platform as a victim. That's where I kind of draw my line between her and my stance. It's like, we all victims at the end of the day. For you to fake shocked about that shit, I'm not folding, and I'm not letting you fold, because I'm in the same position every day. We as black folks is in the same position every day, and we gotta stop feeling like we could save every fucking body. And that's something that she said was, I'm just getting a little bit tired with trying to save y'all. And I said, like, I don't understand where this y'all shit come from. When you talk about stuff, if you ain't gonna be direct, then why you even saying y'all? Cause my logic at the end of the day is, I was just watching you twerk. You was just giving me advice. You was happy as hell sitting over here like, nigga, bitch is stressed. I need to let this loose. I need to let this energy off, and you need to, go ahead and reflect after I say what I got to say. Cool. Now all of a sudden you tired of saving me? What did I do to you? You feel me? You just told me that you got fired from work. Now you tired of saving me? I didn't do nothing. Some people actually are willing for that help. We was having a conversation, and I had said, for me, it's not the people. It's a difference between people willing to try and people that don't care. And the people that don't care is the motherfuckers that you need to not worry about. You talking about saving these motherfuckers that couldn't care less about whether you drown. You shouldn't be thinking about these next people. You should be thinking about these motherfuckers that's here to support you, because at the end of the day, when you had that rant, when you sat there and you cried, you realized, I got people that really give a fuck about what I'm saying and what I'm talking about and what I'm doing. Thank you to my supporters. You damn right, thank you to my supporters, because them supporters was the ones that sat there and said, hey, I understand, but we got you. And sometimes you don't look at that. Sometimes you don't look at that when you in the moment. But sometimes you got to take a step back and really look at the grand scheme of things. And with these people having these bigger platforms like Adam 22 and them, it kind of is beyond me of how they not looking at the grand scheme. And it makes me do feel like you know, is this shit really just orchestrated? And I'm pretty sure it is. I got my own opinions, but that's not what we're here for. I'm here to talk about it so we can actually open up the conversation. So, you know, you can make your own decisions. I already made my own discernment about what's going on and whatnot, and we could agree to disagree. But you know, you as an individual, your personal opinion, what do you feel about that? Me personally, you know, I just like to bring awareness to the fact that it is a lot of motherfuckers out here that's just misusing a platform. And it was another thing that, like, this is why I don't like TikTok. And I was telling my girl, like, I would love to have streamed and talked about this subject when I was really pissed off about it, because y'all could have understood how mad I was and how mad I am about it. Because as a content creator, you know, one of the biggest things that you anticipate is that moment. You looking and you waiting. When is my phone finna blow up? What am I gonna do for it to be that? You know, and when it's that moment, what do I have to show for it? What's in the background? You know, what type of portfolio do I got? That's why you see me putting up these thumbnails and stuff. That's why you see I'm opening up conversation. When we up in this bitch, we trying to have a good time. I'm trying to, you know, open up some dialogue for us to get some shit cracking. I'm trying to make sure that we having some type of fun, because I want people to go back and be able to experience something. That's why I take this passion in these films so serious, because I know that it's for a bigger goal. If that moment ever happens for me, which I'm pretty sure it will, I want to be able to have something to show for that shit. And some of these folks, they be misusing a platform. I seen this lady sitting over here. Now look, I don't know if it's any type of ancestral rooted chakra into white people dancing into the rain, but that shit is so stupid for me, for you to be sitting over here mad as hell at Drew Barrymore for dancing in the rain, G. I don't get it. She stepped outside and recorded herself dancing in the rain. And you know what's funny to me? The first thing I thought when I heard the term dancing in the rain was a old movie, Singing in the Rain. A white man that was so happy about this date that he was singing in the motherfucking rain. A white man, by the way, black and white movie. It was dope. If you ever was into the show Glee back in the day, you probably would understand the reference from that as well. Or if you are in the oldies. But yeah, man, I honestly thought of a white person, and it wasn't even like I was thinking like black and white. It was just like race was not an issue for me at all when I seen Drew Barrymore dancing. And then that's the thing, like the video started with Drew Barrymore dancing in the rain, so needless to say I was really befuddled. I'm like, okay, where's this going? I thought I just seen, like, you know, a thumbnail of a black woman.
Yeah.
This motherfucker sit over here and says, the unmitigated gall for you to disrespect my blackness. And she didn't literally say that, but I'm paraphrasing, because that's what I heard when I heard the dumb shit that came out of this lady's mouth. Now, I'm not trying to be real mean and rude or nothing like that, but bro, that shit was stupid. Like, she literally sat there and tried to pick apart this lady for dancing in the rain and said, do you know that you just opened up the floodgates for all of these white people to start dancing in the rain? And I'm just sitting over here like, what? And then the favorite term came up. The black community, you have disrespected. I don't even remember what she said. The black culture, the black community, black people. But she brought up the black general population. And that shit right there is a misuse of your platform. I do not respect these black wannabe content creators. And I'm wannabe content creators, bro, because that's not creating content. That's creating controversy. That's hate mongering. That is not creating content. If you wanted to create some content, it's a million ways to do it other than a hate monger. Because that's all that you're doing when you make messages like that, of where you feel like you can speak for the black population as a whole to say that we're offended about Drew Barrymore dancing in the motherfucking rain. I do not care about Drew Barrymore dancing in the motherfucking rain, and I am the top motherfucking promoter of going to touch grass. You should always go and touch some fucking grass. I finally got the metal detector, by the way. That's how this ugly ass nigga look. That's crazy. What the fuck? Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to record some of the cool shit. Well, fuck it. I'm gonna just delete that. But anyway, though. Yeah, no, my whole thing is, it's like, bro, you really sitting here trying to make it seem as if your blackness was disrespected because this lady danced in the rain. When we do things like grounding as black people, you know, I would be more offended if she said, hey, I learned this method from my friends, and it's called grounding. You just step outside and you touch your toes on the grass and you look at that great sunlight and you say, ah, time to breathe in that good ass product. Then I feel like, okay, now you culture vulturing. Now you fucking culture vulturing for real. But for you to just simply be sitting out there saying, oh my God, it's raining, ha ha ha, like, nah, you disrespectful. You done crossed the line. For you to sit there and disrespect us, nah, G. You done sat there and made us look stupid. Nobody fucked up the black generation at that point but you, the lady that was offended, because you literally sat there and decided to react to something, and then you go to the woman's reaction video about all of these folks reacting to her shit, and she say, oh my God, y'all are so reactionary. What does that even mean when they reacting to what you reacted to? You sat there and jumped out the window and decided to do that, but now all of a sudden everybody else is, you feel me, reactionary and impulsive? No, that's you, because you want to speak for everybody as a whole and make us look stupid. You want to say, hey, us as black folks, it's a no-go. We don't respect that. What do we not respect? If we supposed to be promoting grounding, if we supposed to be promoting going out and actually breathing in earth, actually soaking in sunlight, actually touching grass, we're supposed to be upset that somebody went outside and enjoyed the rain? How dumb can you be? Like, really, how stupid do you sound trying to really, you know, hate monger something like that? And then to double down on it as if you don't understand what's going on. No, now your pride is in the way. You trying to misuse your platform. I said the girl this, I wasn't even bullying the girl. No, you bullying yourself. You sitting over here trying to start a whole controversial situation over some shit that don't even pertain to you. That's a misuse of your platform. Like I say, man, I just get tired of that, because the more and more you try to reach for a goal, the more and more you met with that adversity. And it's hard for you to try to navigate through that when it's people like yourself. And that's why I was saying I was upset with the other girl, the therapist lady, because I'm like, this is always happening. Like, this is a 24/7 thing. You're gonna always be met with some type of adversity or some type of push bike. So getting upset and getting hurt because somebody done finally caught your ass, you know, for something that you should have probably been preparing for, to be honest with you, bro. Like, I don't understand how you didn't expect to be dancing and cursing and, you know, slapping your ass. A bitch need to blah blah blah, not wearing a bra. You feel me? Like, you doing all of this being super wild and free and in your own comfortability and right, by the way. Like, you have all the right to do this. This is where your freedom is. Cool, perfect. But as a professional, how do you not expect for somebody to look at that and be like, okay, this is dangerous? or okay, this is, even if it's not a agreed thing, because I definitely don't agree with the fact that she got fired. I definitely don't agree with them feeling like she's either A, misusing her platform, or B, causing a bad influence. Like, I didn't see her get banned on TikTok. I didn't, so I don't think that she necessarily got like blackballed in that type of way. But I would expect to get fired if I was really making a wave like that, if I was really creating a following and really impacting people. Oh no, I need to be getting the fuck up out of this therapy place. Cause clearly, I can't do what I could do here. Now, definitely making a living, I can understand you being hurt about that. But being hurt about these other people, we gotta stop hate mongering. We gotta stop using these platforms for the downfall of our own people. And we gotta stop feeling like everybody is to be saved. Because it's just absolutely not the case. I could say as much as I want and feel as strongly as I do about something, and I'ma always get some type of pushback. I'ma always get somebody that feel opposed to what I'm doing, or feel as if they can do it better. And that's perfectly fine. If they not willing to work with me at the end of the day, if they're not willing to help me construct something that's being built, they are not invited to this tower once it's built. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta actually start living in your own grace. You gotta start living in your own purpose. Because trying to get a motherfucker to see your vision and see your goal is not gonna be easy. It damn near won't happen. And that's not even me trying to knock you and say, hey, don't look forward to it. But what I'm saying is, you should most definitely. We was just watching a Spider-Man movie, and Zendaya said, set yourself up to be disappointed and you won't be disappointed. I'm not setting myself up to be disappointed, but what I am doing is planning for the next motion. And that's what I like for us to start normalizing this episode of Let's Talk About It. I want us to actually plan for the next step. We can't keep dwelling on what's fucked up right now if we ain't gonna plan for the next step. And that's something that I'm even working on that with myself. Because I most definitely sit there and I'll be like, I ain't got this, I ain't got that, instead of looking at, okay, well, what we gonna do past this situation. So it's definitely something that would just take work in general for anybody. But that's what we gotta normalize, because if we keep using these platforms to be the victim and stuff like that, we gonna always be down. And especially like with that crab in the barrel mentality. I'm not here to say all the black folks. By now y'all know that I'm black. If y'all didn't know before, shit, Nacho Boys was initially for black folks. This is supposed to be a safe environment for people that look like me, so they ain't gotta feel like they getting called niggers and stuff like that. And even to this day, I don't have to deal with that shit. I just had to kick another little boy for fucking feeling like, okay, well, let me go ahead and say it. We've been chilling on the game for a couple of hours, and he said the N-word about 3 times. Let me go ahead and get mine out. No, you are not me. We are not the same. I do not call you cracker, nor do I say it on the regular.
I'm on the clock. What you want,
So,
wheels?
you feel me? Like, let's just really be ourselves and let's stop misusing these platforms. But anyway, over on to the Joe Budden podcast. It was really interesting to really hear like what all they had to say, just off the strength that I be feeling the same way with a lot of this stuff. Like, DJ Academics really don't talk about, he talk about everything. So for me to say that he just like trying to profit off the downfall of downfall of black people, that'll be false. I feel like I was lying. But to say that he didn't use the downfall of black people will also be me lying. I feel like that motherfucker most definitely used the war on Chirac and all of that shit to pretty much upstart his career. And I feel like at a certain point when he was blowing up, he realized that, and he kept it going. Because you gotta kind of have a passion for something when you getting into it. And one of the best ways for you to have a passion into something is to express it in a certain way, whether it be your comedy, whether it be your articulation in your voice, the way you say certain things to try to grab the attention of people. You know, it's always going to be some pointed intent with something that you got a passion for. And one of his intentions was exposing that funny side, really making it a serious street situation, telling a story and still finding a way to make this shit entertaining, still finding a way to try to make this shit funny for people. And by the way, when you close to that shit, it's not as funny as everybody else may have felt like it was. But he probably did have a bigger goal and it was taken the wrong way. But long story short, I don't agree with it, and I don't think I would agree with it if he was to try to do it in the Trap Lord Ross way. Because even with that, you see this man make whole movies about this shit. At some point, this man is looking at this like, oh my God, this is a brilliant production. My nigga, this is niggas' lives that you sitting over here trying to make movies about. And at some point, I do feel like that needs to be exposed. But these folks ain't making no money off of this. All of this shit is for you. You found that one get off making shit like Get Bite Gang, and I don't know if that was the specific content creator that made Get Bite Gang or not, but you know, shit like that, Get Bite Gang and all of these crazy stories, and another op dropped and stuff like that. Like you see people like the 1090 Jake guy and making these videos, and it's just saying shit like Buddy got popped type shit. I have to like look at the real title to say to see what it is, but it really do be saying like that ops get drilled or demon or whatever. It's just like kind of making the stuff attractive in a way. And that's not to say, because I actually looked at it, that's not to say that he does glorify what's going on, because he definitely speaks on it and lets it be known that, hey, this shit is not okay. You know, he actually does come up with a message. So I'm not using him in an example of a bad guy, but it's the specific topic, what I'm saying being the topic that's being produced, the topic that's being brought up is more of a fucked up situation than anything else. And then I even seen one of the interviews that he had where he said, you know, he had to take a break from it because that type shit like fucked him up a little bit. Fucking it's another lady, and once again, all of these people aren't misusing their platforms. I'm just basically giving you all correlations on the way this type of shit goes down. So the same way people are using this death and tragedy to profit off for monetary gain, it fucks with them. So that's kind of what the example is that I'm using right now, is where when I was listening to the interview, Buddy was talking about, yeah, you know, I had to take a little break because, you know, all of this and that, it kind of fucks with you. And he been in jail too, so you know, it's a PTSD situation to that as well, where it's like, damn, that's bringing me bite. Or even just like, you know, going deep into this stuff and being able to visualize it to a certain extent, you know, that's gonna fuck with you. My girl could even attest. I was sitting over there like playing Red Dead when I made the Halloween film. First of all, I had to like stop making films for a little second after that one because it took a lot of energy out of me, first of all. And I don't know if it was because I was trying to, like, you know, make something that was semi spooky, or if it was just because I was going for like a decent production. But either way, it took a lot out of me. But one thing that would fuck me up was the scene where I was stuck in that little room. Now, it's a scene where I made a little mini movie in there, and you know, it's funny and Bandit Bruce, and they just in there chopping these bodies up, and then they grab the bodies and then they throw them. And I come out of this basement area. Now that basement area is another scene where I pretty much get possessed, and I'm like stuck in this heroin situation while the devil kind of does his due, and then I kind of come to, but not as me. And in that situation, that only took like for me to pretty much expose the situation that I was in, or portray the situation I was in. That was only about like a 30-second to 1 minute clip, but I was in there for a total of probably about 3 hours. G, like literally, when you making a film and shit, you got to be on angles and this and this and that. So I was probably in that room for about 3 hours. I had the massivest headache. Like my headache was so, like I couldn't, my head was ringing. I'm like, I can't. And she like, why can't you? I'm like, it's too much blood. Like it's too gory. Like I can't. It's fucking with my head type shit. Like my head hurt. I feel like I throw up type shit. And it's like, why? But you play these, you know, these violent video games, and you like the shooting and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's fucking with my, you know, my head hurt. Yeah. But it's really it's feelings behind that type of shit. It's intentions and it's emotions, and it's more spiritual shit that go to that. But yeah, long story short, like that's in your subconscious. You know, you visualizing that, you putting your mind in different places when you seeing and hearing and exposing yourself to certain things. So these people listening to these drill rappers and stuff like that, and you know, I'm not trying to make people not listen to music. I listen to music. I blast music on my way to work because it wakes me up. I enjoy listening to some music from Trippie Redd, Migos. Yeah. You feel me? I be really just fucking who I be jamming to? I be jamming to JMB Juvie. Check these folks out too. They cold, by the way. I be jamming to motherfucking who else do I like? Sada Baby, Babyface Ray, Icewood Vezo, Lil Durk. Look, man, I just be cruising. G Herbo, yeah, man. So I'm not trying to make people. Oh, Doe Beezy, Doughboy, man, that nigga so cold. But look, I'm just saying, like, it's so much stuff that I could tell you all day about. Like, I love this music, you know, but to a certain extent, you do kind of got to give yourself a balance. Because too much of something, too much of anything is a bad thing. You know, they say man killed himself. Man can die from water, you know, from too much water. So too much of anything can be a bad thing. So we got to be conscious of that type of stuff when we putting out this type of content. And that goes into the situation of misusing platforms. Too much of this hate mongering, too much of this I'm offended, my blackness is offended, and I'm not telling us to not be proud to be black. I'd never shut down the light of our melanin, of our carbon. Nah. What I'm saying though is we gotta stop trying to use these platforms to feel like, and I know y'all like, well nigga, ain't you the one that was just talking about how y'all need to respect my privilege? Yeah, I said that, and I'm still sticking by that. But what I'm saying is, I'm not hate mongering. I'm not saying this stuff for us to come down to, hey, fuck whitey. I'm not saying this to say fuck white people. I'm not saying this to call people any type of disrespectful terms. I'm saying this shit for us to come to an understanding. That's why we got it, you know, called Let's Talk About It. That's why this podcast Don't worry about me. I just got tongue twisted for a year. So that's why this podcast is called Let's Talk About It. Because I'm here to open up the conversation about these certain topics. Cause yeah, man, if we keep just treating shit like we the victim, or if we keep turning these platforms into a way to, for the most part, expose hate and only hate, we ain't gonna get nothing but that as a result. So if you sitting over here promoting this death all the time, and you sitting over here promoting all of this controversy, that's all you gonna get in return. You ain't never finna get nothing no better than that. Like, even when it get good, it's gonna be something that's stepping away, because that's what you thriving off of. And that's pretty much what I feel like energy is when it comes to people vibrating toward certain things, or you know, putting their energy into certain things and towards certain stuff. That's what pretty much comes up into my head. You put out what you want to receive. You keep looking at these motherfuckers like they ain't shit, they ain't gonna be shit. I always try to find the good in somebody, even when I know I ain't supposed to trust them. So what I do at this point, I give motherfuckers a whole leash. And you got one time to fuck up, I'm gonna let that leash go.
That's how I be feeling. That's how
Yeah, man. And I didn't mean to say leash, I meant to say spoon. I give you a long spoon. And you could think about it as if feeding your dog. This dog that we got right now, this little puppy, I don't like that little nigga, bro. You straight up. He pretty dog. He nice, he cool, he know how to give you hugs and stuff. I don't fuck with him. Why I don't fuck with him? He bites my hand. You ain't never supposed to bite the hand that feeds you. I don't like that. I don't respect that. My dogs, they do it on accident sometimes. They don't do it no more. Unless they really starving on some, nigga, give me that. I know Nugget, she had jotted. But other than that, I throw it to him, or I hit. And Kane, and that's the thing. This is why I don't respect it. Kane, my big dog, he'll touch my finger, but he'll softly bite my finger because he knows that he don't want to bite my hand. So he softly has his lip, slide off my hand while he grabbing his food. This little nigga don't give a fuck. He just try to bite a hole straight through my fucking index. And it's just like, nigga, give me the food. Even Nugget, she jump up. That's my little dog. She try to jump up and get your food. So she'll probably bite your hand up. But if you sit that motherfucker down for her, she gonna try to grab at it, but she gonna try to make sure that she grabs the food, not you. So, yeah. It's the same analogy with folks. I'm not finna play with you, little nigga. That's why your ass gonna sit there under monitored, I don't even know the word, but your ass sitting there being monitored every rip because you is a snake ass nigga sitting over here biting my hand. I don't trust that shit. And if y'all like, nigga, okay, that's a motherfucking dog. What are we talking about here? I'm talking about people in general, man. You can't keep putting your trust and your hopes into these motherfuckers that don't understand or that don't give a fuck about you and what you got going on. And that's kind of my thing with Adam 22. Whereas I do respect that man's platform. I do respect what he's done for the black folks. But the way he was reacting to the situation, the way he was responding to the situation, gave me I don't give a fuck vibes, nigga. I'm on vacation and I'm finna make some money right now. Because that's literally what was going on, was that he was on vacation. So he decided to come there, while he was on vacation. Now, after the... Well, never mind. I'm not going to speak on no conspiracies. Now, my whole situation about that is you going to make your money at the end of the day. Why these other people of color pretty much deal with your mess while you gone. And that's not even to say like you got some bad shit going down, but they there to clean up. And that's what you've been setting it up for. And you can't be upset with it because once again, he is giving folks a platform. But you do gotta you do gotta hold people to a certain standard, and we can't be accepting these motherfuckers that's just using us for controversy and monetary gain, using us in our demises and these tragedies as a way for them to make some money.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that that's what he does, but his attitude was real nonchalant about that being brought to his attention. What I'm saying is, if it does become a situation where we start seeing that Buddy not here for us, we gotta get rid of that man. And I'm not saying, like, you know, hate speech this guy and hate what do they call it? Violent threats and shit. Motherfuckers be trying to send you violent threats, death threats. I'm not talking about that type of get rid of. I'm talking about, like, let's give light to these actual, you know, people that's trying to build their platforms. Like, I shout out academics a little bit. I respect what he do to a certain extent because he actually is journalism. He talks about the drama, but he talks about these people in all lights. He's gonna give you the whole police rundown. These motherfuckers been locked up. These motherfuckers did this, that. But he gonna also tell you how this man started. The one thing I don't like about him is he always feeling like he could check somebody. Like, he be either on some, nigga, who is you? You a bum if you ain't successful. Or he'll really get on, he'll really just start doing some dick riding shit if you really a cool person, or if he like scared of you, he'll dick ride. So I don't really like that. I don't really respect that about him, but I do respect the fact that he gives these people a platform and a voice, and that's what it's about at the end of the day. And also, like, you know, the people that are able to have these voices and these platforms to speak on what they want to speak on and what they've experienced and shit like that, like, we gotta stop telling on ourselves, man. We gotta stop getting on there and letting these folks use the shit that we say in a controversial way, because it's not just it's not just them that's doing that, you know. And that's once again like what I was saying about where I agree with bro. It's like, you know, it's not us as the media. It's not our fault that these folks are putting this shit out in the public for the public to put, you know, to see. But it's the difference between that and when you looking up everything that's going down with the drill scene in hip hop, and not in hip hop, just the streets in general. You going through all of these news articles and shit like this of stuff that went down years and years ago, bringing up past trauma for a lot of these folks that had to live through that and experience that in some of the worst ways. You know, all for some clicks and views. That shit is where it's alarmed. That shit where it's not okay. And like I say, like, it's journalism to a certain extent. If you wanted to put this stuff out, why wouldn't you have put out donations to these families? Like the people that go out and actually interview these people. And that's kind of where it gets fucked up for me, because you see these films and stuff like that, and you like, oh man, damn, that shit really happened. But you seldom see an interview from these, you know. I don't think I've ever seen this guy Trap Lord Ross or Blackie Speaks interview a person. I be seeing that dude Blackie Speaks. Like, that's another thing with me. Like, I don't know what that shit means, Blackie. I don't like people that call themselves Blackie and shit. Like, it's a rapper name that I think it's either Blackie or Darkie. Like, what's with these people? And then they be sounding like they ain't 100% black. And I don't know if they black or not, because I don't be looking at motherfuckers' faces like that right now. I feel like I do want to, like, go and look into that shit. Like, I really do want to just, my phone on 30%, and I didn't even turn that bitch on. We not finna do that. We ain't finna go and look at these folks' faces. I don't even like looking at niggas on the gym. But look, my whole thing is, I don't like that type shit. Like, Blackie and Darkie and shit like that, those is basically other words to call us niggers. Jigaboos and shit. Like, why the fuck is your name Darkie? Why the fuck is your name Blackie? It's a LD Organics right here in this trash can.
Already got it.
Alright, bet. Like, what the fuck, man? Shit crazy. Shit, you wicked. So, yeah, man, I don't know. I don't like that type shit. But, you know, I do respect the people that actually do use their platforms to put stuff out. Like, Poetic Flacco, he had put out this interview with a guy that I had been watching for a while named Young Pharaoh. And he was talking about some interesting stuff, his come up and his upbringing. And it's like, you don't really get that much opportunity to see folks just really talk about what they went through and what they been through to come up. It's a few folks that do it, like, but that's cool. There's a few people that do that where they actually, you know, ask about your upbringing and what your goals are for the future, rather than just, you know, address beef all the time. Yeah. But like I say, sometimes it is a necessary evil to have folks to be putting out that stuff. But I'd rather hear that type of shit from people that are in the areas, because what I was saying earlier about nobody being good in the hood. Like, yeah, it's cool for you because, you feel me, you a motherfucking you a fucking white guy that got this money and these resources for us to get on. So of course you good in the hood, man. You could change hella lives with the blink of an eye. Yeah. Motherfucker that come out the street trying to go grab some milk real quick, go, you feel me? Trying to go get some motherfucking bread real quick, nigga, you better hurry up and run. Nigga, you better take the motherfucking back roads, nigga. Nigga, you better know one of these niggas, nigga. You better motherfucking be moving with some trapper feet, nigga. You better have something on you, nigga. It's always something that you better do to get your ass in and the fuck out. And he just feel like he got this clout because, yeah, I'm friends with the GDs and the BDs or whatever he said. Like, that shit was so crazy to me, because it's like, nigga, do you not understand? Motherfuckers get popped for that type of shit. Nigga, you're not a gang. Yeah, like, you're not a gang banger. Like, you making that shit sound like that's just some shit that you can do. Motherfuckers catch you fucking with the ops. That's what it's called. Are you fucking with the ops? You say ops is a common term. Motherfuckers ain't never beat your ass because you was fucking with the ops. You ain't never seen nobody get their ass beat for fucking with the ops. You don't know about that shit. So it's kind of like, to the audacity for you to feel like, because I can interview these guys and take them to these parties where you'll run into some rich people or some successful people, that now all of a sudden I'm a gangbanger or I'm super affiliate. No, nigga, you ain't none of that, boy. You are the media. We need to treat you good so that they can see they can see our side. They can see us. Yeah. That's what that is, man. And the fact that he didn't understand that, that's where it's kind of like, man, so do you know that you're misusing your platform, or are you genuinely just unaware that you're not like that, basically? Like, you're not gonna be in these areas and situations where motherfucker get popped and now motherfuckers gotta ride and step on that. You ain't, you know, so I don't know. I just feel like it's a scary situation when we get to those type of conversations and motherfuckers is really just playing the dumb role. Oh yeah, well I'm good with the GDs and the BDs. Oh yeah, well my ops and their ops don't ever come around this hood, so we're good here. Yeah. Like, you saying shit that really get motherfuckers fucked up. Like, I'm just trying to think of any time I've ever heard anybody say that they was friends with both sides. Like that was basically what he was saying when he was saying it was like he's good with both sides, like both opposing organizations. And that's where it got kind of shaky for me, just as a outsider looking in, and not even saying like being affiliated with people, but actually being exposed to that side of life. I've never once thought, hey, I'm friends with this so and so and so and so, and that's coming from a guy that's neutral. You know, it's a lot of folks that I never even had a conversation with because they thought I was, you know, affiliated to a certain this or that. Motherfuckers really would not talk to me or would not want to interact with me because they thought I was affiliated with a certain situation, or wouldn't approach me because they thought I was. And it's just like, you know, I'm neutral. I'm here to you know, be me and make music and shit. I'm sorry. Nah, I'm a nerd for real. Oh, you cool. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. But you see what I'm saying? It's just like I don't know why these people feel like that's a thing where you just supposed to be. And the reason why I'm even able to talk to these so and so's is because I mind my business. I stay to myself. I'm not claiming my loyalty to this and that, and neither am I hanging around these folks 24/7 as if I'm claiming my loyalty to them, because a lot of folks got to understand that it is a point where if you start hanging with the ops, is another term, you feel me, like that's what you doing. You not no longer playing a neutral role. You of course can be neutral when you going to this hood and that hood to give out interviews and exposés of what's happening, but saying, oh yeah, I'm good because I go and talk to this motherfucker and they was telling me how they just caught a body or some shit like that. It's like, yeah, no, that's just how that person talks. You feel me? Thankfully you didn't get caught in a situation where you had to see that go down, or you had to, you know, experience that.
Yeah.
But it's just like, ain't nobody necessarily good in the hood, man. And now, that's not to say that certain areas wouldn't have you well protected. You know, you could definitely be well protected by certain people, but if it go down, it go down. You can't stop that type of shit. Just like Whack 100 told Poetic Flacco, yo, that nigga, he lining you up. My bad. He lining you up. You damn right he lining you up, because whether it was purposely or inadvertently or whatever the word is, that's what was being promoted, was that controversy. That fact that this man is calling niggas niggeroids and all type of dumb shit, like just literally finding any way to call us monkey men, like, you feel me, banana eaters, like just random weird shit. Like, alright nigga, like, you need to chill. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, it's one thing for you to be like, alright, this nigga,
I think you can shoot this dude out, I think.
Huh?
I think you can shoot him, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah, nah, we can. I usually just follow him, but yeah, you can shoot him if you want to.
Alright, yeah.
But yeah, though, I just feel like, man, look, I don't understand how you can sit there and not consciously see the severity in certain situations, especially when it comes down to a motherfucker like Poetic Flacco saying, hey, this dumbass baboon nigga is, you feel me, a menace to society that should be stopped at all costs. Like, at some point you gotta understand, this guy is a socially awkward black guy. This guy is not really of the streets. So for him to say all of these reckless comments is not necessarily in the best interest of those around. And you gotta understand that type of shit when you in those positions, because if not, you know, dangerous situations can happen. And thankfully they didn't happen for bro. Oh yeah, you made that 10 times easier. That shit was right down the street.
That's what I was just saying.
Hell yeah, I'm glad you pointed that shit out, because I would have followed that nigga. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm popping his ass from now on. Oh, I swear.
That's what I've been doing when I be doing it. So.
Hell yeah.
So my homeboy told me to do shit.
Hell yeah, that shit. And the cops don't get on you. Just hurry up, throw that motherfucker in the...
Right.
Yeah, though, man. But yeah, bro, I'm just like... Because I like Poetic Flacco. I like Poetic Flacco. I like Sharp as well. I didn't disagree with the way he kind of like lost his composure with one of those women. I could understand.
I watched the video and somehow they get a dog to drive a car, apparently.
Alex, if you don't get out of my face with these America's home funniest videos.
He said a dog driving a car.
Talk about a dog driving a car.
What he be watching?
He be watching stuff. He be watching like top 10 funniest type shit.
Yeah.
Just random little compilations, Minecraft and stuff. I let him get off with a curse word or two. I curse all the time, so I let him get off. It don't be nothing major though. Definitely don't be nothing major.
Right.
But yeah though, man, like for real, I don't know. I don't get how you could not see that as a misuse of a platform when you do shit like that. Like Charleston White, for example.
He is on that. What's up with him, bro?
I don't agree with shit dog is talking about, because you sitting there
and all.
like you're right, like deaf to so and so, and then he tried to clean it up. I done watched a couple of those. Like I don't watch his interviews like fully through, not all of them, but I don't listen to like a good 2 or 3 or probably 1 or 2 just to get that. And man, look, when I say bro ain't shit, like he ain't shit, and he actually the thing is he be having some good like he not dumb. I say that he's no dummy by any chance, but to say that he's not misusing his platform would be me lying, because I couldn't look at myself in the mirror and say dev to these people and think that shit is okay. And he's trying to say his logic in it is, I'm saying death to this personality. The thing that's glorifying these killings and these criminals and these gang members that's not leading nothing but to a perpetuation of generational hatred, and you know, so forth and so on. Okay, understandable. For you to say death to these folks is still not okay. I wouldn't wish death on nobody. I'm sorry, but I definitely am a advocate of defending myself. If I'm pushed to that point where it's that, I'm not gonna lie to you. Now that's something that I could work on, and I do want to consciously work on for sure. But I'm not gonna sit there and try to, you know, act like I'm not beyond no fucking nobody up if I need to. So, you know, that's not to say that. But all of that depth to this personality and shit like that, just because of
people's parents and shit.
Yeah, like you talking about this person represents this and this person represents this, so depth to that person. Nah, man, you still sitting over here on praying for our demise, praying for our downfall. At the end of the day, you still getting niggas locked up and shit like that. Talking about I fear for my life because I'm talking shit to a monkey in the cage, for lack of better terms. Like, bro, these niggas is locked up. That's literally like you going to the zoo and arguing with an animal. Like why would you even put yourself on that type of term and then treat them like an animal? You a monkey, you a monkey. So then once the motherfucker get the ooh ah, your ass wanna look the monkey trying to attack me.
Yeah,
That's exactly what you
about some
doing.
pussy fight, some weird
That's
stuff.
literally like what you doing when you sit there and try to make these people that you want to argue with that's been incarcerated and you want to call APOs and shit like that. You basically arguing with a monkey in a cage since you like to look at us as just nothing but niggas.
Monkeys.
Right, since you like to, that's how you could look at that. You stooping to our level then by laughing at these monkeys in the motherfucking cage, man. That shit's disrespectful. That shit's disrespectful. Like you really sit there.
Saying that shit.
Yeah. And then thinking that, oh, well, I could say controversy and I get on saying how he done did this fucked up shit to white women and shit, and how he killed a white man knowing damn well he hyped the nigga up, put a battery in his bike, and then got the fucking charge and said, well, I didn't shoot it, so I'm gonna tell. No, that wasn't you coming to consciousness and finding out how to actually make stuff better. You just grew up and found out how to dress the words up better. Nah, nigga, you a whole rat, and I don't respect it. Nah, that nigga Charleston White is most definitely somebody that misuses his platform, and that shit is disgusting to me, because I could understand most definitely looking at these people for who they are as men and saying, hey, I want to respect this person by their actual name. I don't want to respect the rapper. I don't like the rap music. Okay, I could agree with that 100%. But when you sit there and hold a motherfucking gun with a flat jacket and hold a gun in the air saying death to this person and that person and that person and mocking the dead, nah, that's disrespectful no matter how you twist that. Because at the end of the day, it's so if you just going to monger hate, that's all you mongering, because when you saying this stuff, even though this is a personality, this still is a person that's attached to this personality. So you saying all of this stuff, the Zoom type, you saying all of this stuff about these folks, trying to make it seem under the guise of, oh, well, I'm saying, at the end of the day, the subconscious don't know what you saying. So you still wishing this death, you still wishing this demise on the whole human being. You still mocking a whole dead entity. You're still, you still mocking the dead. You still treating folks as if you ain't gonna have to answer that, whether it be in the physical or the metaphysical, my nigga. Like, you gonna have to answer to that at some point, which is why you gotta treat people with positive intentions, or you gotta treat people with genuine thoughts attached to that, because you gonna bite what you put out. That's why I do what I do, and as much as I get frustrated with shit or whatever the case may be, I don't try to stoop to nobody's level. I don't try to go to the negative and blah blah blah, because it's no point. It's never that deep to where we gotta feel like I need to I don't know, because I can't even speak from that point. Like I was saying earlier, one of the biggest things that we do as content creators is wait for that moment to blow. So it's kind of like we be anticipating this shit, and some people, they get that moment to blow and they just misuse their platform. They just sit there and use that time to be like, okay, well, now let's talk about all the negative shit. Let's get DJ Academics in them type wave, and let's put out all of this war on Chirac shit. Let's get on some DJ Vlad shit, and once this person is locked up, put out all the shit that they told on themselves about. Like, I don't even think DJ Vlad did that, to be honest. So sorry if that's not the case. But yeah, it do feel like that sometimes when you see a motherfucker get locked up and the thing that they're doing is using the interview as the reference.
Yeah.
or being able to dig up all of these past histories that other normal people can't really pick up. And you know, it could be from whatever type of way. You could be connections or whatever, but I just feel like to a certain extent, it get to a point where you kind of overstep a boundary or of a certain caliber. Cause I don't know. I feel like it's being taken advantage of, the fact that it's so much pain behind the culture. And a lot of these folks, they make a profit off of investing themselves in the interest in that pain. Being able to profit off of, okay, well, how did you come up with this? Now we're going to get a bike story on how this man got into a whole, you know, shootout situation or a whole gun charge or whatever the case may be. And then it's going to always be led up, okay, well, what's your beef with? And then here you go. Right, spreading light to some more negative shit. And then they don't do nothing but let the other motherfucker be like, and that's what they do at the No Jumper, which is why I say I do feel like it's like that sometimes, because it's definitely a name drop where he'll say, hey, what's your beef with so-and-so and so-and-so, and actually speak on that name. So now, guess what? I gotta respond now because this motherfucker just put me out. And who better to do it but the white boy that, you feel me, got the platform that's gonna actually let me speak my piece. That's why you good in the hood, because you actually can let people say stuff. And rather than actually mediate, which what you should be, you instead give these motherfuckers a chance to get that shit off, and there's no solutions that's being given at the end of it. It's just, alright, but now you feel me, we got the whole, you dig. That's it, y'all. No Jumper. Or you feel me, or whatever podcast. We ain't got to just keep using No Jumper, because I like No Jumper. I listen to it all the time. But that conversation was most definitely necessary, because it did definitely open up my eyes to realizing that, okay, at a certain point, when is it just monetary gain, or when is it just monetization or exposure, culture vulturing, whatever you want to call it? You know, when is it that my people are once again being taken advantage of, just like we always do? You know, and like I say, like, it's the same way for me with the white folks, for real. Like, not the white folks, with the black folks, for real. The motherfuckers that feel like I gotta always be unapologetically black. I'm not upset with them. I'm mad with the motherfuckers that feel like they gotta be offended black. They gotta always be this offended black person, this what is it called? This scorned black person. I'm tired of the black world. I'm tired of it. We past that by now. We shouldn't have to always speak on being offended. We shouldn't always have to. I mean, no, my bad. I said that completely wrong. Don't mistake that. We should always speak on when we offended, for sure. We shouldn't always try to use any excuse to be offended and use the fact that we're black as the excuse, because we ain't gonna be taken serious to a certain point, because it's gonna get oversaturated. Like I say, too much of anything is a bad thing. So if you sit there and you decide to keep saying, hey, well, my blackness is compelling me to let you know that you should never dance in the rain again. All right, well, now we got a problem, because my nigga, I didn't never get that you feel me? I didn't never get that black signal at all. And the shame that you should have to feel like you can speak for a whole community when you say some fuck shit like that, because now you picking on all us to lean on you, and now we gotta respond. Just like with these podcasts and these social media outlets, where they do nothing but monger hate. And I'm not saying that No Jumper only does that, because like I say, he gave these folks a platform, but he does profit off of the controversy that these people have, which is why he can be friends with both sides, because he's giving both of them a light. He's letting both of them be able to expose, you know, their truths, which everybody should have a right to expose their truth. But for it to just be a motherfucker getting on there because it's a beef going on or because it's a controversial topic, nah, I don't agree with that. If this person ain't genuinely just an interesting person, you know, them having that light and that shine is not okay. This motherfucker dying, and now all of a sudden you want to put out everything controversial that they said is not okay. But for you to put out, you know, just a memory of them, I don't disagree with that. Like I say with the Kevin Samuels thing, and I personally don't even like I didn't like the Kevin Samuels guy because I didn't agree with his delivery. His message I did get, because it's not just the women thing. You need to look at that shit as a man as well. How dare you call yourself a so-called high-value man and you ain't even got no value to yourself? You feel me? So it wasn't just for the females to get knocked. It was a true message that was being spread with that guy. But the delivery in it definitely wasn't my kick, and I didn't respect him for it. But to say that, you know, he should have suffered a death or some shit like that because of it, nah, I'd never say that. You know, that's not okay. I personally don't care for the guy, so, you know, it didn't affect me much to hear about it, but I wouldn't never want to just use his demise as a way to attain monetary gain or whatever the case may be. I wouldn't want to do that. That shit sounds trash to me. So man, we just got to be conscious about that type shit when we navigate and we trying to figure shit out, because at the end of the day, we gon' always be met with some type of pushback. But if our intentions is, you know, in the right headspace, or, you know, in the right direction, things are gonna eventually like shave themselves out, and you gonna prevail through it. You're not gonna, you know, it might feel like, all right, I'm gonna be put on the bike burn, or I'm gonna not be able to get what I need from this and that. Like, it's perfectly understandable to feel that way and to, you know, go through those motions. But hate mongering, that's not the way to go for it. You know, us using these platforms to play victim, us using these platforms to spread all type of negativity to make these folks. I don't even like folks like that on my regular day basis. Like, if you a negative ass nigga, if you a negative ass person, don't talk to me. No, I don't want you around me, because now you gonna throw my vibe. You feel me? You gonna make me feel, you know. And that's exactly how it is with these people, that if all they look at us is just, you know, a quick meal ticket. Let's use this motherfucker beefing with so-and-so to get rich.
Oh! I done missed it.
Oh shit.
Almost. Right, cool. I got the wheel.
Good stuff. Nah, using us to profit, but, you know, giving us little in return, that type shit right there ain't cool. Like I done said before, you know, if you really wanted to be part of us, how about you pull us from the situation that we in? Help us gain that. You know, and that's why I say it is a little bit of a conflict with me with the Adam 22 situation, because I definitely do feel like he's contributed a decent portion to, you know, to the LA scene, to hip hop in general. I done heard about and found out about so many cool artists because of that podcast. You know, it's some artists right now that ain't really as known that's been on there, that actually, you know, still do their thing or make their music or whatever the case. Or I still, you know, check on them or whatever, even if they probably not doing the same shit that they was doing when they did those podcasts. But they definitely were able to make an imprint on somebody to be able to hold that type of interest toward what they got going on. So you can't do nothing but respect that when somebody give you that type of light and that type of platform to expose yourself. So, you know, I shout him out anytime for that, for sure. But saying that I don't feel fishy when I see a motherfucking post about Almighty Suspect slaps in hell and I ain't never even heard of these niggas. And the whole time I'm looking at it, that's all that man got to talk about is how he the toughest man in the world. It's just like, man, look, I don't know about all that. And I ain't trying to diss the Almighty Suspect guy, but I do feel like at a certain point he's just trying to kind of be a bully in a way. Like, I don't know. I just really don't like folks that feel like they just the toughest thing walking type shit. So I try to really just avoid that aspect of content creators. I don't really agree with that type shit. So yeah, him doing that, I wouldn't be able to even tell you what I thought about him as a creator or as a personality, because all I've really seen is, you know, him waiting for an opportunity to kind of pop off on somebody, and that type shit right there ain't really my jam. Like him and T-Rail had a little argument or whatever just yesterday or something like that. I fell in the fucking water. Wow.
Damn.
Hell yeah. Him and T-Rail had a conversation, a little back and forth, because apparently there's a rumor going around that Almighty Suspect chain got snatched, and you know, they reacted to it or whatever, and he felt as if you could take the plane to get up out of there. I'm gonna take a boat. He felt as if AD went about it the right way. He was explaining the situation and what was going on, but he was upset with T-Rail because he was like cracking jokes on it. Almighty Suspect, he was upset with T-Rail about cracking jokes on it the way he was. So they was in the middle of the podcast and he decided to address the situation. So he called them and then messaged them. Now my whole thing is that off rip is kind of like you looking for some negative shit. You looking for some viral moment or some bullshit for real, because you feeling like you gonna check this guy for speaking freely on the podcast that he's otherwise have been speaking freely on. You know, and he also got him on. So by him getting him in contact with these folks, or even getting him in this vicinity to where he can, you know, level himself up and better himself, how dare you say that? So I agree with T-Rail in his response, and where he was just like, you know, pull up on me, nigga. Ain't nobody finna check me on what I say. You know, and how could you disagree when, first of all, he the one that helped him get the podcast according to him, but I mean, helped him get on the show according to him. But I mean, even smaller than that, like, whether he helped him or not, he ain't even been there. You know, he just feeling like he could hop on that motherfucker and dictate what's being said and what can be talked about. Like, no. And then on top of that, even if you felt that way, bro, how dare you feel that way when you're putting yourself in the public as a public figure, when you putting yourself in the public as a personality, so you're giving yourself that exposure to be criticized and to be talked about in a certain way. And why would you not want to at least get that inside scoop from your homies first? If motherfucker ain't comfortable enough to joke around with you, then that ain't your homie. You know, I'm not finna be sitting over there feeling like, oh damn, now this nigga finna, alright, well, fuck you. You know, that's just what it is. I'm not finna keep trying to babysit you throughout the situation. So him sitting over there trying to be like, oh, well, I was offended about that, and I don't feel like all that jokey joke shit, I know you do that, but, and I'ma call you. No, man, that ain't how this go.
Yeah.
Nigga, like, everybody get talked about on this bitch. And then on top of that, like, everybody speaks freely. But like I say, like my whole thing is I feel like you could tell the intention is just to cause some bullshit because I feel like he personally be picking on Flacco.
Yeah.
They sat there. I done seen like on 2 occasions now where they having their debates and he just trying to insult Flacco. Oh, you sound dumb as fuck. Yo fat ass and you stupid.
Yeah.
Yo dumb ass. This dummy. You are a
Did he
nerd.
be taking it?
Yeah, Poetic Flacco be. I'm saying this and like he be doing that type shit. Like he don't really be. He just kind of like brush through it. But it's like gaslighting the situation. It's like him saying more and more small shit to try to make him kind of bug up because he waiting on that opportunity that happened with 16 shot him when he spit at him. And the reason why he did that was because Flacco was getting on some disrespectful shit. So he waiting on that type of opportunity. And my whole thing is when you looking for that type of energy, that's what you gonna get bite. And that's exactly what happened with the T-Rail situation because T-Rail like, you not finna check me. So if you feeling like you finna come on this bitch and bully folks, no. Like you misusing your platform at that point because you sitting over here really trying to feel like you got some type of say-so over this free speech space.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, man, that shit right there ain't cool to me. And I definitely don't agree with folks like that. So he would be one of them type people that I would feel like was misusing a platform. He ain't did nothing. I haven't heard about him other than, like I say, you know, trying to slap somebody or starting shit for real, or you know, he been doing this podcast and stuff, and I honestly don't even really know what all I've gathered from him in any of the conversations that I've heard him in, other than like, you know, cracking a few jokes here and there. So, you know, I don't know. I just like I say, overall, I don't really have much of a opinion about bro when it comes to the personality situation. I just feel like he not really there with the best of intentions. But you know, that's just me kind of giving my opinion on everything. So yeah, man, what y'all think about it though? Like, do y'all feel like, you know, are these people misusing a platform, or do you feel like it's just simply, you know, self-expression? Like, are these motherfuckers actually just speaking on their side of things? Are they feeling like, you know, I got this platform, so why would I not? Because that's exactly why I got my platform, you know. I make this, let's talk about it so that I can talk about shit and do whatever I need to do for, you know, my platform. Actually be able to build up my stuff. So one of my things is to have this podcast so that I can talk about stuff a little bit more freely and not focus on gameplay as much, and actually like open up conversation for stuff that's going on, you know, in the community and what I'm interested in, whether it be games or whether it be the podcasting and music shit, you know. But yeah though, man, I just overall don't like the dumb shit.
Well, these cars better not be slow.
You know, this would have been a great scene to record. I should have recorded
That's what
this.
I was thinking.
Yeah, that wasn't
I was
too
thinking
smooth.
that you want to restart. You want to restart this scene while recording this.
Nah, cause what I'm gonna fuck around and do is just play it again anyway.
Yeah.
I honestly would rather us do it on yours, just so I know that like the regular missions is just gonna be regular cutscenes and stuff, but certain cutscenes is like one-time stuff. So I don't know if you only get to experience it solo, or if certain ones you can experience with a group. But I kind of want to get some of that recorded if they let us. If they.
It's not the way until I get the agency and everything.
Oh shit! Let me change my outfit. Matter of fact, yeah, we can get this one. Well, nah, we gonna redo it. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Let me see though.
I want this MK2. That's what I want.
Yeah, I found another piece today.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Find the pieces too.
I think I only got like 3 so far. You need like 5, right?
I think so. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find the piece. That's what I want to find the pieces too.
Yeah, hopefully I do find another. I found the metal detector too.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'm tripping and I only found the metal detector. To the auto shop. Let's see.
Now the police get called. Oh!
Damn, my bad.
You straight.
I found out how to get up out of her.
No, we got 12 everywhere in there. But the bikers.
Shit.
Right there.
Damn, let me through. It's probably too late.
Bro, that's so weird to me.
What? They caught you?
I just got hit by a car.
Oh, damn.
Oh, you just going to let them get off of you?
Hell yeah. They off me now.
Oh. I can't drive for nothing.
But yeah, though, man. We probably gonna end it off right here as far as the. Well, nah, I mean, we could go ahead and go through the whole of Dr. Dre shit. But as far as the whole situation with the guess we're gonna end up going ahead and end it off then once we drop this off. But I do want to know how y'all feel, man. Do y'all feel like, you know, people are misusing a platform for these situations where it's just playing victim or victim shaming or hate mongering? You know, or do you honestly see that side of things of where, hey, at the end of the day, all of this shit is free expression. They all need to be out, whether it was in the dark or whatever. If it's able to be, you know, published and released, it should be that. You know, how do you feel about the situation? Me personally, I feel like there's always two sides to the coin. There's always a necessity for something. But at the same time, too much of something, too much of anything can be a bad thing. So I don't feel like some of the shit that's being presented or promoted is necessarily, you know, the proper way to go about shit. And I also don't agree with a lot of it. But to say that there isn't a place where some of this shit shouldn't exist would be false. I feel like there's definitely a necessity for journalism and information to be spread. But let us know, man, in the comments how y'all feel about things. And once again, as usual, this motherfucking podcast was brought to you by www.nachoboys.com. We can find all the latest nacho gear, from hats, hoodies, shirts, mugs, and extra shit. You know, they got all type of stuff there. Just fuck with me, you know I got it. Yeah, man, all different types of colors and sizes. Got some shit for the kids too. You know, some wholesome stuff. It ain't the one with the middle finger. We got the South Park characters. We got the Toxic Nacho and all that stuff. And just because you, I even got a promo code where you can get $20 off for any purchase that you make. And that promo code is NXCH0. Once again, the promo code is NXCH0, where you can get $20 off of any purchase that you make. Starting from here all the way into, guess what, y'all? October. That's right, man. Grab you some shit before October. Halloween, that is. We gonna end it the day after Halloween. So you got all the way until October 31st to make a purchase of anything for $20 off at the nachoboys.com merch shop. Check us out, man. It's Nacho Boy Johnny, and without further ado, we out.